Episode 130.
What's
Wow.
up?
Oh,
What's up?
hey, which pro athlete wore that number, huh?
130 athlete.
Hey, can I tell you about like a weird leftist thing that happened to me at work this week?
Yeah.
Sure, I can. It's my podcast too.
My employees tried to unionize.
That's right.
You
No, I
bashed
was
him down to the fucking dirt.
I forget how this came up. Oh, no, yeah, right. A plumber was given a smoke, like a homemade hand-rolled cigarette to one of my coworkers. And it just looked like a spliff, but it was just tobacco, and he was saying how good it is, and you'll get a head rush, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow he brought up that tobacco is used in anti-venoms or something. I haven't done any research on this. This is just what this fucking guy was saying. And then he's like, did you know when they created COVID in a lab, they actually used some venoms, which is why smokers weren't as heavily affected by COVID unless you were like a big chain smoker and then it fucked you up more. And we were like, okay, interesting, real. And he's like, yeah, like then he mentioned something about having COVID, and he's like, I took ivermectin. And my coworker's like, oh, are you like just shooting it up? He's like, no, it's just like a gel. It tasted like apples. And we're like, did it work? And he's like, I don't know. I was like fucking sick. I felt like I was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, it overloaded my kidney for no reason.
Right.
That guy's listening to Stu Peters. That's who that guy is a fan of.
Well, and
That's the guy who said that snake venom is like the COVID vaccine or COVID was either one of those was snake venom.
Same guy that also said that
interesting.
smoking is better for people who get COVID because their lungs are coated.
well,
Yeah, that turned out to not be true.
yeah, American far-right online personality and former bounty hunter. But what makes it leftist is we like transitioned into like how much electricians are making versus plumbers are making.
Yeah, guys, if you like
And-
Stu Peters, follow him on Twitter at Hungry Stew.
That's right.
And, we the plumbers make like currently like $6 an hour more than electricians, and it's like for the most part similar work. It's like problem solving and stuff, dangerous in different ways. I guess electricity you can't see, so it's very dangerous, but the big difference is that they're union and we're not. And so I like said that I was like, oh yeah, you know why? Like it's because you guys are union and we're not. He's like, yeah, you guys should unionize. It's so great. And I thought it was so odd that like this COVID crank that was like taking ivermectin and thought it was made in a lab with like venom and shit is like also incredibly pro-union.
That is why unions are so cool, is that even though like, well, and weirdly, it's the left that's always pushing them, unions are not meant to be political in any way. Like you can believe what you want.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
about equality.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the source of the solidarity.
That's the most important part. But of course, you know, you're fucking gay if you like unions and you're a lib. Unless you work at like, you know, I grew up fucking confused as shit. As like a conservative Catholic homeschooler that's trying to like become more leftist once I started like skateboarding and listening to punk shit when I was like 14 and started realizing my parents definitely aren't the smartest two people on earth, despite me thinking that forever. But I also grew up around the car industry, so you had a bunch of Trump-loving type, MAGA type guys that are easily tricked and shit, but they're also like, you know, I love my union more than my kids types guys. Like,
Yeah.
I'd do anything for this.
The Frank Sorbotka types, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the culture war stuff really did a number on those guys, telling them that like if you don't like your boss, that's gay. You have to like your boss and get paid less,
It's woke
or you're
to hate your
basically a
boss.
gay college student. You're like, oh, okay.
That's like literally fucking Steven Crowder's philosophy. Oh man, I can imagine working for that guy. So cool.
It's interesting too because like I think a lot of like my coworkers that are like very pissed off that we're paid less compared to everyone else and really upset about inflation. And I think pretty uniformly would be pro-union unless they were like managers or unless they had like shares in the company. I think if you brought up any of that like this is another reason why it's not just because we don't have a union, it's just like this is how capitalism's designed to work or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there'd be like a ton of pushback on that, even though like they bitch every day about the material conditions that they're living in, and would also be in favor of like pro-labor organization.
You just have to tell those guys if there's another vaccine and you unionize, the union can tell the boss that you guys are not going to take it. And even if it's not true,
honestly
maybe
true,
that'll push them
though.
over the edge.
Be like, oh, that's like, just be like, just tell lies like that. Like, You know,
Yeah, like what if all of us get together and organize to say we're not going to take the vaccine, and we tell the boss we get sick, give
and
a letter
also
to the
we
boss.
want a $5 raise.
say shit like
Yeah,
if
that too.
If a union reaches 10,000 members strong, it has power equal to the president. Whoa, just tell lies like that. Like that's pretty cool.
A president is worth 10,000 guys.
Do you know what they could tell me to get me to do
saying.
union shit? Like when I was younger, you could just say, you're going to get one of these jackets with buttons and it's embroidered on the back and says what union you're in. I'll be like, damn, that's fucking sweet. Where do I sign up? Like well, the 80s, all the 80s UAW gear is so swag. All the hand embroidered shit.
Yeah, that stuff was awesome.
I love it.
It's like being a mason.
I would say I'd like to buy some of that stuff, but it smells like fucking cigarettes and ass.
Probably has holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to pull it out of a StreamYard estate sale.
Which they don't have.
Yeah, they don't. A StreamYard estate sale, it's just some shit in front of a trailer.
Fuck.
Apparently, Sheriff is moving out.
To where?
Oh, really?
To Georgia. They
He's
said
going
he
to
was moving
college.
out. Yeah, he's
He's
moving
gonna-
to college.
He's gonna hop on one of those hand carts where he has to pump himself on the rail all the way to Georgia. With a bindle.
It's leaning to one side. Keeps tipping over backwards.
He's gonna have a bindle
I
with
need
nothing.
an apartment.
Yeah, he's gonna have a bindle with nothing but a big bag of rolling tobacco and Tim Hortons coffee. There's all
I'm
I
a
need.
bindle of Timmy's.
My
Dude,
Timmy's
what
bindle.
was that Twitch is that like new, that Twitch trailer that you showed me of old Sheriff Buford T. Cletus?
I think it's somewhat new. He keeps making accounts on new websites, and he usually gives up pretty quick because no one really wants to watch him watch a hair metal video. But I guess he is trying to get a radio show out on Twitch, and I guess good for him. You know, I want to see Sheriff more because I love Sheriff.
Yeah.
But if he's just watching Motley Crue videos and Whitesnake videos, that's going to get taken down off Twitch pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, but that is
So-
like kind of made specifically for you.
yeah, it just
yeah.
sucks because you can't you got to catch it live if you're not gonna catch it at all, you know.
Yeah, that's the shit that he was doing it on, like Vaughn Live and
that's
D
his
Live
name,
and all these.
Vaughn
All these.
Live.
Yeah, it's his name is Vaughn.
Live.
I love
That's
that
weird.
he's
That was his
calling
middle
it
name or something.
Headbangers Ball, which is if we wanted to do a Twitch show called TRL.
Yeah,
Like, he just
Headbangers Ball is
completely
already a
ripped it
thing.
off.
Is that really what he called it?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just watch old episodes of Headbangers Ball if
Headbangers
you want to
Ball's
watch
been-
someone talk about 80s stuff?
Without even looking, I can tell you Headbangers Ball has been off the air for 11 years.
There's a great episode of that where they bring Alice in Chains to Action Park.
Oh my
That park
god.
that killed all those kids.
Yeah,
It's a great, like, 1993 thing.
that's so cool.
They're riding around, and Lane Staley seems like he's having a great time. They were all having a great time.
R.I.P.
They did a new season in 2021, which was their first one
Headbangers
since.
Ball?
Yeah, since.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Maybe I was looking at the MTV2 version.
Hosted by Sheriff Buford T. Cletus.
Oh
wow.
wow. Amazing.
there was one that went till 2007, so you're pretty fucking close with your 11 years.
DJ Sheriff.
The problem with shows like that is it's really hard to merchandise them, like with Beavis and Butthead. It's so hard to find the Beavis and Butthead DVDs with the actual music videos in them
Yeah.
Oh,
because of the licensing, and you can't put them on YouTube. So anything like that, even if it's a good show, it's hard to. You can't really sell DVDs of it if it becomes like a cult hit because it's got so much licensed stuff.
I was right, by the way. I was thinking of the second iteration that was MTV2 only, which was the shittier version, and that was May 2003 to September 2012. Let's go.
Perfect.
Amazing.
That's really
MTV2 was like they were what MTV is now before that became what it is.
Oh, it's still on, but it's on a website only. The guy that hosted it last on TV,
What?
is still
Hold on.
hosting on the internet. Headbangers Ball.
Do you want to hear another Jack blog post?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is the second to last one that he wrote on his own. And it's called Stroke of Genius.
No. How is it the name?
Yes. That's the name.
Okay. Proceed.
So if you followed my cooking show, you would know I've struggled with strokes, all caps. My mom died from multiple strokes. The people who have watching know that I've had a TOA in Las Vegas in 1999. Wow, Vegas. Fancy. And two major debilitating in 2018 and 2023. 2018 was a brainstem stroke that usually ends in death. God is not done with me yet. So now I'm now out of the wheelchair and using a cane to walk around the house. This time I'm not scared because I've been down this recovery road. So all is going great. I'm blessed to have a wife that is my dear angel on earth. I just finished PT, still continuing with OT. So let's address the people who want to see me die over a fourth stroke. You've got to come from a dark place to wish someone to really die. I feel bad and pray for those people. They must have a miserable life. I've DJ'd nightclubs, done radio, worked in artist management, and had my own YouTube show. I've had a great life and have done all I've ever wanted to do. Yeah, eat. The only dream I have left is build my own studio and produce other people to live their dreams. Been in the limelight my whole life. So people who dislike me is a normal thing for me. As long as the good outweighs the bad, I continue doing what I love. Now to honor people who care for me. That's truly why I'm who I am today. You guys made the Cooking with Jack show what it is. Lots of love comes from you guys. I really appreciate you guys. It's been a great journey, not stopping anytime soon. I can't begin to thank you for putting up with me. I've had 2 people DM me and say, I used to goof on you, but now realize you're an okay guy. I just want to be
Wrong.
an okay guy.
That was me and Chet that did that. We DM'd in that.
That is
Yeah.
the lowest standards you could possibly have is just saying, so they're addressing the horde of people saying they want me to die from a stroke.
I want to get Jack. You know how Jack loves to wear shirts with text on it? We should get him one that just makes him a baseline, like whatever it takes to be a decent person. Let's give him a shirt that said "Never raped."
I never did
So
it.
you know how we were theorizing that his blogs are done by ChatGPT?
Yeah, that one wasn't, but the new one was.
I just went to ChatGPT and said, write a blog post about YouTube personality cooking with Jack's struggle with multiple strokes, include his wife Tammy. And it spat out something pretty good. I'd like to read some samplings of it. In the vast realm of YouTube cooking channels, one personality has captivated audiences with his infectious energy, delightful recipes, and charming personality. Cooking with Jack, known for his mouth-watering culinary creations, became a beloved figure in the online cooking community.
I think that meant to say brown watery, not mouth watering.
I think it meant to say that he was drooling.
However, behind the scenes, Jack faced a personal battle that tested his resilience and strength. Multiple strokes struck the heart of this culinary virtuoso, leaving him and his wife Tammy to face a daunting road to recovery. In this blog post, we will explore cooking with Jack's blah blah blah. The rise of Cooking with Jack, whose real name is Jack Scalfani, quickly gained popularity on YouTube with his cooking videos that blended delicious recipes with his charismatic and humorous personality. The struggle with multiple strokes. In early 2019, Cooking with Jack's life took an unexpected turn. He suffered a stroke that left him with temporary paralysis and affected his speech. The sudden health crisis shook Jack and Tammy to their core as they faced a daunting task, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, it wasn't over yet. Then my favorite paragraph. The unwavering support of Tammy. Throughout the arduous process, Jack's wife, Tammy, emerged as an unwavering pillar of strength and support. Tammy became Jack's caregiver, constantly by his side, offering encouragement, love, and the motivation he needed to persevere. She tirelessly researched rehabilitation techniques that he didn't listen to, therapies, and dietary adjustments to aid in his recovery. Tammy's dedication to Jack's well-being extended beyond their personal lives as she frequently updated their online community about his progress and shared heartfelt messages of gratitude for the outpouring of support they received.
Wow. He wishes his life was like that. He should post that and say, yeah, this is what happened.
The agony and ecstasy of Tammy.
It's so strange. Well, not strange. It's maybe like predictable, but ChatGPT writes like a high schooler essay.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah, it seems like it's designed for that almost.
Yeah, like, and I just don't get people being really afraid of it, because, yeah, it's kind of funny that it could write these paragraphs about Jack, but there's nothing behind it.
It sounds stupid.
Yeah,
It gets the info wrong, like he had a stroke before that. And it says his first one was in 2019.
The people that shouldn't be afraid of it, I guess, are in that case are authors. The people that should be afraid of it is anybody that has to grade a paper, teacher, TA. Like,
fuck,
you're
Just
fucked.
because it's annoying.
I don't know if this is real, but I saw something in passing about the APA released a style guide on how to reference ChatGPT in a paper.
Awesome.
That's weird.
Right?
Why would you even want to do that?
That should be like an auto fail. It's just like a trick. They're like, yeah, here's how you reference it.
It's so easy to find a source. Just a link.
Just make it up.
I was just thinking about how much I hated you had to like put certain things in parentheses and
I hated all that shit.
I was like, come on, just let me put a link there. It's not from Wikipedia. It's just from one of the sources from the Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is better than most of the shit on the fucking first page of Google now anyway.
Inline citations are so annoying. I just want there to be a little 2, and then you click on it, and then it's at the bottom. Makes it less cluttered.
I understand the skepticism for the first like decade it existed, but people that are still like, that's Wikipedia. It's like, come on. There are more nerds on there there are more nerds on there that care about the accuracy though than people trying to fuck with it.
Yeah, it's like 99.9% accurate.
Yeah.
It's like a pregnancy test.
It's like a COVID test.
But it has all the sources there, so you can check the sources. You can go to the bottom, and there they are. If it's not true, you got to check.
I saw someone the other day, by the way. It's like in a Twitter circles thing too, and I can't remember who it is now. So if I'm outing you, sorry, but it doesn't matter. It's been a long time. But it said how. Oh, what was it? How
we should do a segment where we read out people's circles posts. Every episode we pick one, we're gonna spill your shit.
How faded can the second line on the COVID test be if you're to be okay? That's it's like not a joke. Like if there's a second line at all, it's not good.
I had that
one
the second
line
time.
means you're good. One line you're fine. 2 lines you're kind of okay, and you're pretty much good. 3 lines is when it's bad. 3 lines is when you shouldn't go to a party or on a cruise. Yeah.
2 lines you can go shopping and normally and you go out to eat, but 3 you shouldn't be around people directly.
You got to wear a mask when you're like walking away from your table to go to the bathroom, but you're fine at the table.
It's like getting a yellow light. Like you can get through it if you just
You can
if you
pick up
walk
the groceries for the
through
next 5 days.
If you walk through the grocery store fast, you probably won't get anyone sick because you're not there long enough.
COVID's on the rise again in Japan.
My dad got COVID last week.
That's so old school.
I know. I made fun of him for it too. Like
retro.
In 2023, you're getting COVID. He's like, what? People are still getting it. I was like, where were you? He's like, some concert. I was like, well, there you go.
SWM Vlogs or wherever the fuck his name is now. He gets COVID every week or so.
Yeah, he's getting COVID from probably going to Dollar Tree and getting a whole handful of 3 liters, or he's smoking Delta 1 vapes. It might be that too, and also his girlfriend broke up with him.
Oh no!
She unfollowed him.
Odin's mom,
and she's not in the Odin's mom, mother of Odin.
Mother of Odin. I'll never meet her in Valhalla. He'll be all right. He'll have another. You just gotta get back on the dating app and change all the sliders to min-max. That'll be fine.
Yeah, he could probably find someone in like Nevada.
Distance max, age max, and minimum. So
I'm
awesome.
looking for a long-term partner in at least 6 to 7 states away that I won't talk to. I'm never gonna go see you, and you have to send me money.
So there was an interesting new character added to the Melanie Mac universe this week. His name's Dimensional Traveler, and
boy is he ever.
He's a brony, which seems like hack to make fun of, but I guess it's important context.
That's not the important part.
At this point, it's retro.
Yeah. It's I guess in the context of the story, because it's all with like My Little Pony creators. But what happened, Alex? He went to the Discord with a prayer request because of this online drama he was involved with, correct?
Yeah, he went into the Melanie Mac Discord. Someone posted it. Mocktac replied to it. And he posted this thing that made him sound like the victim. Like, I'm being the victim of doxing and harassment and people posting my personal information and in my name and all this stuff for no reason. And I need prayers and love and all that usual stuff. And then he gave the names of the people who were supposedly harassing him, which is a bad idea to just send people to the accusation post. And I went and looked at it, and it's some normal seeming, like as normal as you could be as a Brony fan artist.
Yeah.
Just dealing with this guy who like, she said something about having a disease or something.
I think it's her mother has a disease.
Yeah, her mother has a disease, and then he DM'd her and said like, oh, in Canada we have universal health care. So luckily we don't have that problem up here. It's too bad you don't live up here. And she was like, oh yeah, that would be, yeah, it's nice up there, I guess.
So
and he kept messaging her about it.
Yeah, like I have her screenshots in front of me. So after like sending the immigration link, it's just like CanadianVisa.org. She's like, it'd be too expensive unless I moved here with someone. It's like, well, try and make a plan, figure out where you want to go, then make it a goal and work towards that goal. You already get help from your audience, so perhaps you could work on a long-term plan to see if you could improve your situation. And like you said, he just keeps going on and on and on about it. And like,
this is also someone with 6,000 followers, so that is not enough to crowdfund you going to a different country.
Let alone moving your entire family there.
Yeah, like putting the security deposit down on an apartment, that would be hard to do.
I think you're forgetting Ristalabal, who only had a few thousand more followers than that.
What did he claim?
Though?
I know he went on vacation with it. What did he say?
He was the one that
was
the unemployed single dad that just wanted to be a TV writer, but he lived on like Staten Island and was like, I need $5,600 a month for rent or something. And everybody's like, okay, man, here. And then he went to Ireland to be with some girl that followed him for like a month. And then he came back and then he came back and told everyone to kill themselves. And then he's like, dang it, I wish I didn't do that.
Now he's a firefighter.
Kind of a bag fumble.
He had to walk through blood and bones on 9/11. Sorry.
If you live on Staten Island, at a certain age, you get drafted into being either a cop or a firefighter. You have to do your service.
Staten Island.
So Dimensional Traveler here, you can tell that he has a fucking little plan. He's like, just research the link I've shared, blah, blah, blah. Also, if Starbucks is something either of you like, we still have it besides Tim Hortons. But unimportant topics aside, basically he offers to marry her because then she could just move to Canada with like the marriage thing.
Who amongst us hasn't offered to marry a Canadian for whatever reason?
Yeah, it's fair
I've done it twice. I've done it twice.
Okay.
All too familiar.
Offered a Canadian girl, do you want to come here and marry me so you can't get free health care?
Yeah, do you hate going to the doctor?
You don't have to get shots anymore. I know you hate needles.
That would work on Fatty. Like, do you want to come down here so there's no doctor? So you can just
Faye's gonna marry Sheriff.
So you can just tell your wife, no, we don't have health insurance.
Oh yeah, we're gay now. We're going to Massachusetts. Let's go.
Let's go.
But she politely says like no, and he gets real upset. So here, sorry if I won't bother you anymore. Hopefully, I don't need to see you at Vanhoover, which comes up a lot. Which I guess is a My Little Pony convention in Vancouver.
I think I can deduce that.
Yeah. Maybe they're slower listeners.
Oh my god.
It sucked. These conventions.
He starts talking like a fucking supervillain. It rocks. It's like, because I have enough guilt over the crap that I've done, so I might as well disappear completely. I tried to be helpful and not force you into anything. Just read back and see for yourself. I was offering to help, but wasn't forcing you to move. But it doesn't matter anyways. I'm sick and tired of always needing to be told or treated like crap, and always being treated or flat out told I'm all wrong only makes people unable to trust people. I have massive depression, and trying to help you with yours is like trying to put out a fire with matches. I'm always at fault and can never catch a break. And since I noticed you here, it's only gotten worse. I'm not judging you or Moonlight as a pair. I'm not even envious, which I tried my hardest to give you. But you don't give a crap when I'm down in the dumps.
Keep in mind, she doesn't want to marry this guy.
I know.
He's just a very large man too, right?
No,
probably.
He's like a little dork.
He's like a very normal looking guy. He actually had a voice acting reel on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
That wasn't very good. That's
better than Outlaw.
I got confused with that
pattern you see.
There's that one guy people were talking about who had met that one girl who was like 18 or something like that. And
Boogie.
I thought that's who we were talking about.
Hopefully he doesn't die on top of her.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't make it.
There was another person that this guy had interacted with, who I guess like used to follow him or whatever, and like had briefly said hi at a convention. And I guess she's like actual friends with the girl that he was trying to move to Vancouver. And this girl like has an OnlyFans, and fucking he gets like really upset and sanctimonious at her, and then resubs to her OnlyFans, and then immediately unsubs, I assume after he nuts. Oh, that was the other thing with the original girl too, is like in order to help her move to Vancouver or whatever, he bought a bracelet she was selling on Etsy for like $5 and then wanted a refund when she said, no, I'm not going to marry you to move to Canada.
Oh my god.
It must suck so bad to be a woman in these spaces.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Because
god.
it's like amplified what would be at like Comic-Con or any normal convention, even like SakuraCon or one of those. It's like the Vancouver BronyCon because they shut down the main BronyCon. So it's only
just
these
like
guys.
The real high functioning neurodivergent types that just don't have the social tact, but they still have like obviously like the human want for companionship, but they were not properly, and sometimes they were told how to do it, but they just are gonna go about it in their own way, and it's very bad, and it's got to be insanely hard to deal with for both of them. Like
yeah,
this guy
everyone
turns
there is neurodivergent.
This guy
is the
obviously
thing.
also turns into his own worst enemy every single day. Like just doing what's wrong, even if he knows it is. Like
Like at those things, it's not even like at BronyCon there would be famous voice actors. I'm gonna be a famous voice actor, like like Tara Strong or someone like that, like actual celebrities people have heard of. But at these, it's only fan artists. The panels are just fan artists, so it's just like disabled people who draw ponies for a living, and they have just enough social skills that they can like not act like this.
Yeah.
But then they're the ones that have to be like the social worker for this guy, and these people are all on the autism spectrum.
yeah,
And then they have to deal with this, and it sucks
overwhelming.
to think about.
Yeah.
I have a few more dimensional traveler hits. I committed a terrible sin. I followed your OnlyFans. I'm sorry I did it. I'm hurt inside. I wish I didn't do it, and I should have respected you. I would say you shouldn't have
she's the
one,
one who
but that's
has
not
it.
my place to say when it's your choice, your body, etc. And then he says his new username, I was some guy. I already deleted my account, and the shame isn't going away. Also, no matter what I do, Gleamy is still eating at my sanity. That's the girl that he offered to move to Vancouver.
That
He goes on to say she's the reason why he'll never visit the United States. Because that's where she lives, and it would be too painful for him.
Also, this is
Hey.
another guy who's living with his parents, and he's offering to have a woman move in with him. And where are you gonna be, dude? That doesn't make sense. And also, for him it's also funny that he touts the healthcare, because even though the healthcare is better, he is like a failure of the healthcare system.
yeah. Just my
Like, this guy shouldn't be like this.
my tizzed up Brony son walking in and being like, my mom, dad, my wife's moving in. Like, what? What are you talking about, boy?
What is it, a pony?
If you feel bad at all, he's like, and this is unrelated, but it says, I don't have anything against the gays. I'm just uncomfortable with seeing them in film. That's it. It makes me uncomfortable, so I don't get all mad when a Christian isn't giving you crap over their reason.
I'm not gonna
Then
take
there's-
this guy's views like that to heart
Yeah.
too much.
Here's another tweet from like the next
Marriage
morning.
is between a man and a pony.
I had a dream that escalated to me as an anthropomorphic fox being hunted by Kathleen Kennedy in a competition.
That's amazing.
That's a Donald
Those guys
Trump
are-
tweet. I had a dream last night. I was an anthropomorphic fox hunted by Kathleen Kennedy.
That's incredible. The Star Wars stuff, the Star Wars industry lore just creeps into those guys' subconscious.
The last thing is he did a 17 tweet thread telling his side of the story about
Always good.
all that shit. Very boring, except for there's one part where he's like, all I want to do is move on, and I'll still pray for both of them, and he tags them both. I forgive both of you. You'll still be blocked, but I forgive you both nonetheless, regardless of being blacklisted in the My Little Pony community.
Yeah, 'cause
it's
he
so
got-
fucking funny.
He got banned from Vanhoover. That's why I made that thread.
Well, no, because she was like, don't approach me in public. If you approach me at a convention, I'll get you kicked out. And that's why he was like afraid to go to Vancouver, as he thought like
okay,
she was going to be
he's
there and
self-banned.
send the convention cops after him. But I love the I'm going to pray for you, I forgive you, but you're still blocked on Twitter, and then tagging them in the same tweet.
It's
So
very
alpha.
Christian.
At BronyCon, they have horse cops, but they're on each other's shoulders. They're just on a guy's shoulder walking around.
Well, yeah, in Canada, they're like wearing Mountie costumes on a My Little Pony.
So stupid.
Like, I think Chris Chan did this with some fan artist. and like paid for her Patreon where she made like furry art or something, and it was obviously just a ploy to try to fuck her and message her. And then it's the same position that this woman is put in, where you've got this person who's like obviously not all there mentally, and they're giving you money and they're being sort of nice on the surface, but then they also get progressively more and more weird, and it's like, fuck, do I have to block this person who's paying me because they're like buying my stuff on Etsy to try to guilt me into fucking them. It just sucks.
That goes for anybody out there that takes money for whatever reason from anybody online. Don't let that dictate your relationship with them if they gotta go. Like, are you listening, Outlaw? I'm just kidding. Not you.
He doesn't even get money anymore.
I see it a lot,
Patreon.com/ChapOFYM.
I see it a lot.
Isn't this the Patreon episode?
No, this is
No.
public.
130.
I thought the even numbers were the Patreon.
Even numbers are public.
Did we see?
Even numbers are public.
Even numbers are public. The odd ones are Patreon because we get a little bit odd on
The
those
odd
ones.
ones are
So
on
our first
Patreon.
one was a Patreon episode.
That's
Yep.
when we talk about poop, pee, etc.
Yep.
Oh,
With the
Okay.
spit episode where we spit between every word.
Mhm.
Penis
gross.
and nuts and,
I remember
and
that
kind
one.
of crap.
Yeah, that was a lot. That one sucked. It was a lot of work.
Mhm.
I'm gonna drink water.
I used to go. My buddy in middle school was a wrestler, and to drop weight, he would eat Jolly Ranchers all day and spit into a Gatorade bottle and just not drink water or anything.
How does that help? Does that help?
Well, I mean,
I
if
guess
you're not
it's just-
drinking any, if you're not drinking
using
any
water.
makes
This is like an
that makes-
outlaw
yeah,
tactic.
Yeah, I mean, it's stuff coming out, nothing's going in. He's not even drinking water until he gets weighed.
Yeah, that's why Ella doesn't
Oh,
drink
man.
water, because he's trying to drop weight.
Dude, yesterday I went back to watch. I was going back to clip the DJ Stash video where he's eating the devil's toenail or whatever, the devil's toe.
He's drooling everywhere.
Yeah, and he just drools, and the fucking big rope of spit just is hanging there, and just like, then he like coughs a little bit and shoots out like easily like a cup of
Yeah,
most spit I've ever seen coming out of a human. But
yeah, he lost 3 pounds for that.
I checked his really old videos now that YouTube added back the oldest button, which is so cool. But
Yeah.
DJ Stash's one of his oldest videos is him and his friend in one of the most fucking hot couch guy style basements I've ever seen. But you can't really see anything too much because the max fucking quality is 240p. You can
Good
barely hear them
lord.
talking, and they're doing the McDouble challenge or the cheeseburger challenge or something, and they have to both eat like 4 McDoubles or something, and the video's like 12 minutes long. And somebody said minimum wage workers lunch eaten at leisurely pace challenge. It's so funny.
Yeah, you're just eating a big lunch with your friend.
Just four little burgers each. And it takes like 12 minutes, and you're like, whoa, that's pretty tough, but we both did it.
I wonder if they decide later that it's going to be a challenge. Like, they just go and get that stuff and come back and are like, what if we just filmed this? Like, isn't this a challenge? Or if they just fundamentally misunderstand what it is and think it's just eating a big lunch at a normal pace.
There's
I think they're stupid though. They just think a lot of something is the challenge. Like, you should do the rice eating challenge. And you go like, I got like 600 in here.
The dry rice challenge.
Fucking have a counter next to you, and the counter's going up a bunch every bite. It's going up like 45. You're like, wow.
How about a versus challenge with rice? You know the old Chinese story about the guy who says like every month I'll double the grain of rice or whatever, and
Yeah.
it goes up exponentially, and he has 1 billion grains of rice. If you did that, where it's like I'll eat 1 grain of rice, then you have to eat 2, then I eat 4, and it goes up until you're daring each other to eat like 2 million grains of rice. Then you explode like a seagull.
Yeah, that sounds like a subathon idea.
I tried
Yeah, we
doing
should
the,
explode like seagulls.
I tried doing the Alka-Seltzer seagull exploding thing when I was on vacation one time at the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
And those motherfuckers could tell the difference between a piece of bread and like a piece of the Alka-Seltzer, even though they're both like white. Like,
'Cause it's
they wouldn't
hard
even-
as
they-
shit.
well, no, they
it's
wouldn't
just
even
douchebags been
touch
trying to
it.
blow them up since like the 70s. Like you.
Well, yeah. Well, then I
better.
Evolved.
tried sneaking it inside a piece of bread, and then they would just like do a couple chews, then like I somehow
Spit it
managed
out.
to spit out, but like keep the bread still. I was like, all right.
They
And then I
definitely
thought,
evolved.
and then I was like, after that, I was like, all right, how can I really get this bird to explode? And then I was like, wait, why am I even doing this? I don't want to see that happen. And then I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like a little kid moment.
That was the process people went through when they invented guns for the first time. Trying to feed seagulls different types of poison, they wouldn't eat it. It's like, what is the easiest way for me to just explode
Do you
this
remember that
bird
clip?
right now?
Was it a Rockies game or a Diamondbacks game? That clip, the MLB clip from like 5 years ago, where they're just panning out to the outfield, and there's like the walkable area in the outfield, and there's that little kid that just takes that rock and throws it at the goose. And his mom it's a really funny clip, but it's so fucked. And the commentator's like, "Oh, something."
That's why geese are so rude. I love that pitch that just incinerated the bird into
It
powder.
happened
Oh,
again.
Randy
It was
Johnson?
do you know that happened again this season?
Really?
Yeah, it
I
was
missed it.
maybe it was in the bullpen, but it was the same team. It was a Diamondbacks team. It was the same same
That's
fucking team.
Arizona?
Yeah,
Why are there so many birds?
it's probably the
They
only place
migrate-
they
they
see
migrate
fucking
south for
grass,
the
bro.
winter.
Oh yeah, it probably is. The stadium it's like they don't have forest and stuff.
Yeah,
to
they're
go
like
in.
cool. Let me get down
Yeah,
on
they all
that shit.
gravitate.
No, it's probably just going for the fries and shit that are all over.
It's a good place to be a bird,
For
but
sure.
there's a lot of competition too.
Yeah,
like
except
if you're
for when
gonna,
fucking Randy's fastballs chunks you into hell.
so sick.
One of the fastest pitches ever. A guy that could complete game pitcher anyway.
that's the trade-off.
That motherfucker was throwing still like 100 miles an hour for for full games at like so old. Fucking crazy.
Now he's like a photographer and he shoots for NFL games and shit. He's like always on the sidelines of
He's a
NFL
porno-
Oh
photographer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that on the show before? Or is that like
I
something I
think
heard
so.
on a
I've-
podcast?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. It all.
I just saw him like
messes-
during
it's
a game. They like did like a little. And there's Randy. You know.
Mhm.
Doesn't he like do concerts and shit too?
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
that
yeah,
one
all
of his
sorts
big
of-
things?
No,
Yeah,
that's Randy
his lo-
Travis.
His logo
Shut
is his logo is has something to do with the bird exploding from the baseball too. I forget what I forget what his name of his company is
He
called.
I feel like there must have been like a Vice article about this that we all read.
I think there probably was an article about
The
it.
name of his company is Horny Penis LLC. It's sort of a play on his name.
No, I already knew he was the guy that hit the bird with the pitch. I didn't need to read the vice. Dumb fuck. Yeah, they call him the Big
cool.
Hurt. Just being totally
kind
wrong.
of a waste of a bird.
The Big Hurt was Frank Thomas. Nobody comment and say that I was wrong as a joke. Do you know Randy's nickname, Chet?
The unit.
That's right.
The Bird Buster.
The Bird Unit was his name.
The Bird's
Buster.
Nightmare. They called him avian flu because he just whipped
Ooh.
through the bird population.
Seagullsbane.
Seagullsbane. That's
Wow.
the name of his sword. He uses a sword instead of a bat, even though he's a pitcher.
Hey,
Pitcher sword.
Otani hits home runs and he's a pitcher, so not bad, you know.
I'm so pissed that he was playing in Denver the other week and didn't even think to get tickets for the game, but they're probably so expensive. I want to see him play.
Yeah, it's one of those
He's so
guys where you
cool.
just kind of gotta.
Yeah, I watch baseball clips because of him now. Sucks. I hate it. Just kidding. I kind of want to play
I
baseball.
like
though.
when that happens.
I'll go to a
Any-
baseball game in a couple weeks. When we're in LA, the Lost Doyers are playing my Toronto Blue Jays, which
Nice.
like of all the teams, I was like, yeah, I guess I'm a Blue. I haven't watched a Blue Jays game since like they were last in the playoffs, and even then, it's like
Is it
I'm
actually?
only half paying attention.
It's more
So
appropriate to be a Blue Jays fan just for them being from Buffalo too.
That's right. So like
What would be, like geographically, what would be the baseball team for Calgary?
Mariners, maybe.
Yeah, that's the outlaw team. Yeah.
yeah, no, that didn't happen. No, like it. I guess this will be my second Dodgers game, which are the only two baseball games I've gone to. So maybe I should be a Dodgers fan. But I just think like the Canadian
Dodgers got swag
connection
gear.
or whatever.
What team was formerly the Expos? You should be the fan of that team.
The Washington Nationals.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean like all the media coverage here is Blue Jays. So like if you turn on, highlights or
I
whatever,
gotta say,
you get all
I like
that.
how the Blue Jays like merch looks and the Dodgers. Like I just like that
Yeah.
blue. So
Well, I'm gonna be
So-
real. I'm not gonna be cheering for the Blue Jays when I'm at Dodger Stadium. I'm
well,
not
then you're a
fucking with all
Dodgers
that.
fan.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna be neutral, I guess, or maybe I'll politely clap for everybody.
Are you gonna?
Well, you
stand
don't
for
want to get
the-
your ass beat.
Well, did I tell you? Have I told you guys about what happened when I went to the Dodgers game the first time? I was in the all you can eat section, which is exactly what it sounds, right? Like
They have
all you can
those?
eat. So you got to pay for beer, but your ticket was like $30 more for this like cheap seat bleacher, and you just got free hot dogs and popcorn and shit. And they were playing the Mets, and there was like a Mets fan there, which I guess makes sense knowing like Frank and Mets and shit. And the Mets came up, they went up early, like 1-0. And he was like standing up and like jeering the audience and shit. And so everyone just started throwing their fucking hot dogs at him. He's getting belted with all these fucking hot dogs, and he's like, security, help. And they're like, shouldn't have fucking said anything. And just like didn't help this fucking guy out at all, and he just left halfway through the game. So he just kept getting food thrown at him. So
that's how Frank's hot dog obsession began. He freaked out at a game, people started whipping them at him, and he was like, well, I got these all over me, so I might as well eat them. And they lost the toppings
but not the
when they were being
ones
thrown.
Or maybe he got like ketchup and mustard like on him, and then he's like, "Oh, I hate this. It reminds me of the time I got belted with hot dogs."
Yeah, he got condimented.
Couldn't be that bad. How bad is a hot dog gonna hurt? You know, like come on.
It does seem like the Mets have disproportionately crazy fans. And they do lose a lot. Frank was very mad during their last game. I love when I see both Frank and Mets live, and there's a thumbnail of them screaming. And I know the Mets aren't doing well. And then I check the score, and they're losing. I don't even have to watch the game. I just know from their reactions.
Did you guys ever hear about Charlie Marcuse? He was he was a hot dog vendor in Detroit and local legend. His years active, 1999 to 2013. He's a former hot dog vendor at Tiger Stadium and Comera Park in Detroit, Michigan. He became known for his distinctive yell while selling hot dogs, as well as his refusal to serve ketchup with them, responding, "There's no ketchup in baseball," when asked. He received national recognition after he was temporarily banned in 2004. He was fired permanently in 2013. But the history's so funny. He began working at Tiger Stadium right before they closed. He became well known at Comerica for his operatic hot dog chant. He had like an actual good singing voice, so it worked. And he would do this hot dog thing super loud. And he said it was inspired by Pavarotti after a Three Tenors concert at Tiger Stadium, which is hilarious. He was working during it. His characteristic chant was polarizing, drawing both praise and complaints from baseball fans. In 2004, he was asked to stop singing on the basis of complaints from fans and the team's broadcast partners, because his voice was easily picked up by microphones in the stadium. The decision received national attention. He was allowed to continue singing following an outcry from a number of fans demanding his return. So awesome.
What did he get fired
Was
for?
at the Mets Stadium?
Tigers.
Tigers, okay.
They did end up firing him permanently, I think, just to get rid of him, because they were sick of the singing on TV and blah, blah,
Does
blah.
seem like an influence to Frank, doing very annoying Pavarotti-inspired ditties about the food that you're making.
Bon appetit.
Happy ending,
That's
though.
exactly what he does.
Following his departure from the Tigers, he developed his own brand of mustard called Charlie's Ballpark Mustard, and it's now offered in 65 establishments throughout the state.
I do prefer mustard to ketchup, but ketchup can go on there
That's
too.
his
You
thing.
can
He
do both.
just doesn't
Stadium
get ketchup.
mustard's really good.
He would not give you ketchup with it. He
If
only
I had to
carried.
pick one.
That was the best. He'd only carry mustard packets with him.
You know, when I'm getting a hot dog, you know what? I'll sometimes do a barbecue sauce instead of ketchup, but with the mustard still, because you get all like the notes from ketchup plus a little bit more, a little smokiness.
The Wikipedia didn't mention it, but I went to a Lions game where that guy was also working as a hot dog guy, as like a guest vendor, and I got a hot dog from him at Comerica Park, Tiger Stadium, and Ford Field.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did he sing?
Yeah, of course. This was all between 99, because I did get to go to Tiger Stadium the last year it was alive, which is cool. Historic stadium. But then we also went to quite a few games when Comerica opened.
I feel like we haven't been nasty enough this episode, so did you fuck him?
Yeah, well, he fucked me when I was a
Nice,
kid, so that's
okay.
why he got fired.
Yeah, I actually bought a hot dog from that guy, and the inside of it was poop instead of meat. And I ate the poop, and then I threw up onto a guy's neck.
I was sitting
the
all
back
the
of
way at
his
the
neck in
top.
front of me.
I was sitting all the way up at the top behind a beam where I couldn't even see anything, and he sold me a hot dog, and when he gave it to me, it was this boner in a bun. He made me suck it to completion.
Ew.
And that's why I
Yeah.
hate ketchup, is because it was on his dick.
And that's why he hates ketchup, because I put it on there. Anyway, now we've been nasty.
Woo! We did
This
it.
is good. Awesome.
Remember the gif of that guy who's at the game and he's throwing up all down his shirt?
Yeah, it's one of my
He's dribbling
favorite.
down. It's like the chocolate fountain at Golden Corral.
It's my like, most used gifs on, or it was my most used gifs on Discord for a long time, like the starred ones.
I want to lay on the floor under that guy.
That's my favorite is how he thinks he's catching it and it's just not spilling down his elbow and pouring onto the ground like just cupping it. It's so good. Oh, I love when people are just so out of it and vomiting that they just don't know what's going on. Or the people that are like puking into a bag and they can just they feel it around their mouth. So they're like, this is good. And the whole bottom just already blown out and it's going all over their fucking lap.
It's filtering it. It's the purest water.
They're going to scrape some tortilla chips across that at the end.
It drips through the bottom of the paper bag. It tastes like Dasani. It's wonderful.
We just got a real gag on Aaron for the
I'm so glad my like vomiting in public days are over. I was like my fucking 23rd or 24th birthday or something. We went to Banff and drank like a whole bunch of really fucked up drinks. There's this one called the Turning Point that was like absinthe and 151 dropped into Red Bull or some shit. Like
it was Charlie
into
Kirk's
Palm
cocktail.
Bay. And I was like in the dance club in Banff, which is called the Dancing Sasquatch, and they have a guy in a Sasquatch costume that comes out and like shakes his ass on the dance floor, which when you're fucked up is really cool.
That literally sounds like something that happened on GTA when you drive to the mountains.
Right? And I threw up on like all over myself in the bar and
oh no.
Get kicked out. And I'm like stood out back and it's like my birthday's in January, so it was like cold as fuck in the mountains. And I have like a pea coat on and just like a black t-shirt that's covered in vomit. And the bouncers are like, you sure you want to keep that shirt on? And I'm like, fuck no. And so I like just rip off my shirt and throw it into the alley. And so I'm like shirtless except for like this pea coat that I have open. And I'm like, I have to like get a cab because we're staying like outside the city like shortly. Just like a little bit outside of the city. So I couldn't have walked. That shit sucks. I'm happy that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
I think you should do that forever, like Bert Kreischer. You should make that your bit for your whole life.
I did it once, but I was a child, so it was allowed. Like drinking too much at 15 and puking all over.
And I threw up so much that following morning that I burst like a bunch of blood vessels in my face, and it looked like I had these like fucked up red freckles. Oh man!
I'm a violent puker, dude. I could fucking sometimes I will gag and just like cough that hard, where I'll break blood vessels. Like Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah.
It happens occasionally to oh, sorry, Chet. But it happens sometimes when I'm squatting. If I like if I pressurize in my head too much and not like in my abdomen, I'll like look and I'll have a bunch of like red little flecks on my face the next day.
I was gonna say, I wonder how many Albertans can say that they've puked in Banff. Probably a lot. Like what percentage? It's probably a pretty big number.
I was gonna say it's a non-zero amount, but obviously because I've done it, but
many more.
A couple of percent, maybe.
Many
I puked
more.
on the Bulls at the Stampede.
Man,
they
if
slipped
anyone,
in it.
I'm gonna put that feeler out there again because I still need the greatest puke picture of all time, and it's just gone. If anyone wants to look through millions of pictures online of guys with puke all over them at a party, there's a guy surrounded by cans of Rolling Rock, and he has puke on him that looks like poop. I don't know what he ate, but it's one of the grossest, funniest pictures I've ever seen, and I've looked for that. I've probably put 100 hours looking for that picture since like 2011. So if anyone out there, any listener wants to look for that, pop it into our Discord. You'll be a hero.
Google suggested searches for puke that looks like. First one's coffee grounds, then poop, and then egg yolk, and then vomit looks like poop dog.
Oh, these people are... Yeah, your dog ate poop.
Like dog poop, or like this vomit looks like poop,
no,
dog?
That's the result from somebody Googling my dog's vomit looks like poop. Yeah, let me tell you, it just happened. Your dog ate shit, and your dog didn't like the shit.
Yeah, is it an animal that eats poop? Yes or no?
It's so funny.
If you answered yes, it may have just eaten poop.
Man, one of these links is for like a pet health website where you can ask questions. It's like, why does my dog's vomit smell like poop? And the photo is a not a German Shepherd, a Rottweiler just sat on the ground with like a whole bunch of diarrhea coming out of its ass, and it's just chilling there.
That's awesome to be the dog in the stock image.
Yeah, it's not even stock. It's like
that one that I always post. The clip I could post it later so you guys have it again, but it would take too long to find. But
the woman in the car.
Yeah, the one with the car with the dog that's just diarrheaing all over, and she's like catching it all. and they're just driving like 900 miles an hour because you can tell the dog's sick and or whatever. Oh man, it's so funny. This little dog.
Isn't the dog
it's like a
Isn't
chihuahua
it also
or something.
throwing up out the window?
Yeah, I think the dog's puking out the window and shitting all over the lady, and they're going so fast that the shit's kind of like going like blowing on her.
Oh god, one of the nastiest situations you could ever be in. And there's like, it's easier to replace her pants than it is to replace like the upholstery in the car. So she just has to like, oh, I guess it's gonna just get on me instead of the car.
I told that story about when we were driving. It was when we were on our way back. I don't know where we were. We were driving back to St. Louis, probably from Detroit, and we had our dog with us, our Greyhound Banjo, who had just the most disgusting farts sometimes, but especially like he was traveling, nervous Greyhound ass. Anyway, he farted in the car, and it's like summer, like humid, Southern Illinois, nasty heat. And my the smell hits me, and I just like fucking already sick, waiting to eat dinner, just feeling like I never get car sick, but that smell hit me, and I was like, immediately threw up, just all over like the wheel well in the van. And then my older brother looked over and saw that, and he fucking pukes too all over his like floor under him. My family had to like go to some restaurant and eat, but my brother and I had to be across the street at like the car vacuum cleaning the car. It's so funny.
It's like having a herd of fainting goats.
My dad's just driving on. God damn it, smells like fucking dog shit. I bet the fucking waiting for the next exit. We were only like 20 minutes from home too, after driving like 12 hours.
My buddy, I'm pretty sure I told the story. My buddy, his little sister on a road trip had to poop really bad, and they just like they're in traffic or whatever. And so she was like, I can't hold it anymore. And so his like stepmom like climbed into the back of the minivan and like pushed her butt cheeks together to try to keep the poop from coming out and just squirted it.
How is that the answer? That's like outlaw babysitting. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's like how you have no object permanence. Like if I hold my pee in, it'll
like
go
putting
away.
your finger in the dam on during Katrina, like whoop.
What they gotta do is you gotta get some ratchet straps and just like go around the butt cheeks, and then you don't have to like stand back there.
By the way, if there's any parents out there, your best bet is to get over to the side of the road or like get off and just find a bathroom if it's a nasty one. Don't ever anyone puke. There's too many stories I know of, like especially big dumb families that have their kids poop in the car, and it's never good. I remember one kid who went in like a fucking like plastic grocery bag, and it was his parents just thought that'd be okay, but he had diarrhea, so it just fucking dripping all over. So
it's just pull over, man. Just pull over.
Also, your car's gonna smell like shit now, no matter what.
Yeah, it is not worth. There's no situation where it's worth it.
So nasty. Oh, that's why you gotta eat stuff on road trips that plugs you up, not makes you shit all over.
Yeah, that's why I take a bunch of Vicodin before I go on a road trip and when I'm driving, just so I don't have to shit. I do about 3-4 days of Vicodin every couple hours.
That's a classic. Scotty.
It's a classic Vicodin road trip.
You'd be on opiates on Scotty's airport shuttle waiting to go to the shuttle, and Scotty walks by you and sits down while the bus is moving. How you doing? It's on autopilot. It's just straight away. We can all just relax.
Straight away.
Just straight away here. Oh man, we've had Scotty's just been. His face looks so good now, so clean. Not really.
He's killing it.
He's really into stickers now. I guess he figured that was the easiest way to get content because he has to upload a video every day. He has to, even if he has nothing to talk about. So he'll buy a $1 sticker pack on Wish, and it's these shitty stickers of 80s bands or 90s cartoons, and he'll go through them and be like, oh, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that says. I don't know. It's like that sodden gamer. Like he just. But why'd you buy this shit then if you don't recognize any of it?
Just it's like buying a loot crate called Shit Crate, and it's full of a bunch of random stuff you don't need, and you're like, cool, how cheap is it? $1, I'll take it. Like it's then you get in this bunch of like broken Legos and shit. Cool, thank you.
Was his video about how podcasts exploding in popularity any good?
He barely mentioned podcasts at all. The whole thing is about radio. It's
Stupid
him remembering radio,
God
and he
damn it.
mentions Howard Stern.
Baba Booey.
It's Yeah, he's our podcasting. We're back in my day. We had many YouTubers. Like it's clear he's never heard a podcast. He couldn't name a single one, but he has to talk about it.
Howard had a Scotty, or else he could have used him, but he already had Jeff the Drunk.
Yeah, he could have been the guy who comes in.
Scott,
and does
man, I
the
could
mics
imagine that
and
too.
fucks him up.
Imagine Scotty Allen Day being called into the studio to like talk about something, and Gary lets him in, and immediately Howard go, "Ugh, you look awful. What have you been up to?"
He got fired by blonde Howard Stern. He could get fired by brunette Howard Stern.
Yeah, the white Howard Stern's what I call him. D. Snyder's the white Howard Stern. Oh,
He's the man. It's like Joshua Jerry syndrome, where you buy the cheapest possible thing over and over, and then you realize that it's not good, and then you just buy another one that's the same price.
Pisses me off. I
have a question.
My friend's
regarding
mom.
Howard Stern.
Go ahead.
I have a question regarding Howard Stern. I'm not much of a follower. My most vivid memories were watching the late night video of the show on E.
Yeah,
Channel E or whatever.
They'd play like.
And that's when then he was like, "All right, you see that Sybian there?" And then he would just have like a porn star go sit on a Sybian. And be like,
Oh yeah.
How do you feel? So that was going on like over the New York radio at like 9 a.m.
Yep.
all the time. I always thought that was
On
like a late
K-Rock.
night part.
It wasn't as often as
No.
you would think. Like it was
The meme
a lot
came
of it was
because-
just them talking about the news.
Well, the meme
Yeah.
came because in his movie as well, in Private Parts, he has like the of course it's a sexy female listener, not like a StreamYard lady like in real life, but he has like the hot lady sit on the speaker and he like purrs into his mic and makes her horny or whatever, and like that's like where the meme came from. But then he would interview like porn stars and be like, it definitely didn't happen like all the time, but of course, because it happened,
That's
it
like
got
so that's
talked about a lot.
That's what I remember. Those are the only parts I remember. I was a little kid, and I thought that was cool.
The early days are the craziest. Like the 80s Slash interview where they're both where Slash sitting there with women all over him during the whole interview, just like smoking cigarettes and shirtless. And at some point, Howard's like, "I want to take my shirt off too," so he does. It's like so like Michael Scott, so funny.
This transcript of the Scotty Allen Day video is good. It's well, he's talking about like how lots of people were on Sirius, and you had popular talk shows on Sirius like Howie Carr. Russia Limbaugh is what they translate. Russia Limbaugh.
Russian Limbaugh.
Russia Limbaugh.
And then he's like, they're always political. And then it looks like he's asking if some of them are still on the radio, not knowing that Rush Limbaugh's dead. And then it says, Howard Stern was a shock jock. He would talk about anything and everything, and we basically on Reddit, and he was R-rated superstar.
Still on Sirius, man. He just cannot. He's allergic to looking stuff up. He'll just, whatever happened to the band that's still touring? Whatever happened to the radio show that's still on the air? Whatever happened to movies? Whatever happened to cars?
Aaron, I had a moment the other day when I was listening to one of the classic Howard clips of JD's mugging, and it reminded me of you. JD, the CD JD had in his CD player, it sounds like something you would have made fun of in high school. Dave Grohl's Probot.
Yeah. I remember people were like really into
giggled.
it.
Howard
was
giggled. He was like, "What CD was in there?" When he said Probot, him and Artie were like, "Hey."
What is that?
Dave
It's
Grohl's
like
fucking metal project.
metal album where he like hired a bunch of like really famous metal musicians to like play. He was basically a different super band on each track or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are like, "Hey, you might like it, Dave Grohl metal," and I'm like, "I'm absolutely not listening to that fucking shit."
when I heard that, when I was reminded of that shit, I was like, "Oh, Aaron hated this." I bet. I wouldn't
Yeah.
listen to them. I was like, "Ooh,
It's
Aaron,
exhausting to hear about Dave Grohl.
Aaron hated this shit." Yeah, and that was 2004. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Well-
even then it was like, man, he's always doing some sort of project. He's one of those guys who's very interested in cementing his own legacy and his place in rock history.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always trying to like put himself next to like his classic rock heroes and put
Yeah,
himself
so,
in
like-
the canon, and he lays it on a little thick.
He didn't have to either. He was in Nirvana.
It has
he's already
right?
one of the
like he's
most
all
famous
crazy.
drummers in the world.
So on the Probot album, he had like Kronos from Venom, Max Cavalera of Sepultura. He had fucking Lemmy. He had like Tom G. Warrior of Celtic Frost. Almost said Celtic Frost.
He had Lemmy.
He had King
Lemmy.
Diamond, and then he also has like fucking Jack Black on there. Like,
And he had Jack White. They did a duel.
It's so cool to put Jack Black in your metal band, though. Dope.
He was in
Tenacious
Mario.
D, the D stood for Dave. Let's go.
Tenacious Dave.
That is funny, though. Like, bro, you were in Nirvana. You don't have to spend the rest of your career trying to convince people you're cool.
Yeah, he could have just stopped and had a cool mystique about him. Like, I guess you don't have
He
that
must
about,
be
like,
so
Chris
mad that Kurt
Novoselic,
Cobain.
but-
Kurt Cobain hasn't done shit. He just fucking killed himself, and he's still more famous than Dave Grohl. He must be so mad.
True. Zoomers aren't walking around with Foo Fighters shirts on.
I did an HBO special.
I wonder how
didn't do
long Dave Grohl would have stayed in Nirvana if Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. Because I know on like the album that they were recording, he was like doing more songwriting on it apparently, and some of that turned into Foo Fighters songs. So I would think at some point there would have been like a split up, right? And then we'd be talking about, I wish they'd get back together with Dave Grohl.
It wouldn't have lasted to 2000, I don't think.
No.
Like none
no
of those
way.
bands did, other than Pearl Jam.
I mean, Alice in Chains is still at it.
Steel Panther didn't start till then. They
Well,
got it right.
the main guy died.
Yeah.
Right?
I consider it sort of a different band.
Steel Panther didn't form till 2000. That's how they avoided it.
One might
Yeah,
argue
we
that
start bands like Steel Panther
Panther.
back in the 2000s.
Jerry Cantrell's the main guy from Alice in Chains.
Oh, that's true.
One
Yeah,
might
in terms of
argue.
songwriting.
Check out Blue Cantrell as well.
Yep.
Good.
Jerry can't sing well, is my opinion on it.
Hey,
Thanks for
That's
joining,
why I had to
everybody.
hire a guy to do it for him.
you sing real good,
Chet,
but
Chet's a fan of Lane Flatley.
Wait, what? Let me think about that.
Yeah, he's laying flatly now and he's dead.
Yep.
Shit.
Aw, shit. The
R.I.P.
funny response to shit.
Aw, shit.
Anybody out there, if you're a
Aw, shit.
podcaster and you're not really listening to what someone's saying, you can come back a minute later and just go, oh shit. And it's just that's your signal that you're all caught up mentally to what's going on.
I wish I did
Aw,
that
shit.
instead of asking what Soda Poppin' was up to.
No, it's PewDiePie, actually. I can tell you what Soda's up
PewDiePie.
to as well, though. He's
Hmm.
actually in England right now with I think his girlfriend's family. He's been staying there for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
He'll
good
be back
for
in
him.
Texas soon. Yeah.
I'm wishing
Good for
them well. I'm wishing them well on their journey. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for listening, everybody. God bless you.
Yep.
Peace.
Check out CNN.
Check out
Later.
Fox News. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go, both sides.